composers, thank you so much for joining me today on this channel. Today we're going to talk about modes. Sounds very scary, but it's really not, and it's a pretty cool way to think of some melodies, to think of some different ways to write some songs. And so we're going to talk about modes. The first thing though I want to talk about is that I am opening my composition studio. If you are interested in learning how to write better, learning how to write differently, learning how to think out of your own box, which is sometimes we get trapped in the little things that we do all the time, I am opening two different ways for you to work with me in composition. One way is a composition class that I do once a week. It's 1 hour class, and you can get in that really super cheaply. Or we can do weekly lessons where we work together for about a half an hour on your music. So if any of those things sound interesting, I don't have the Hello Composer site up yet, but you can go to ericcopelandmusic.com, go to my lessons page, and you'll see all the information there about the things I teach. You'll also find a way to get in touch with me at the contact page, and we can start talking on how to take you to the next level in composition. Everyone have a warm beverage to begin?
I don't have a warm beverage.
Not you.
You don't even know how to make tea the right way.
We'll address that. Okay, so let's get to this song and why I chose to use modes to write it. The story is that I was in Music 4, which was part of my Music Masters program. Ding, ding. And I was trying to finish up my music theory studies. And at the end of Music 4, the professor said, what I want you to do is to write and compose a song that uses something that you learned in music history. It can be any of the things. And so I had thought modes were pretty interesting when we were working through them, and I thought that might be a fun way to help me compose something unique and different. And so I did. This song is called It's Just a Theory, and it's built on modes. So let's talk about the 7 main modes real quick so you can just get an idea of why I chose modes to write this song. All right, the first one we're going to talk about is called Ionian. And it is just the basic C scale. We're going to be on white notes for all of these just so I can show you how the modes work and what they sound like. And this is not a deep dive into modes. If you want that, go take a music theory class. But this is going to be something I think you'll find interesting. The first one is Ionian, just like a C major scale. This is what we write most positive music in. Most happy, upbeat, melodic, major music is written in this scale. Right? Everybody knows that scale. That is Ionian. Now we start to get into different things. Next, we're going to go to Dorian. And Dorian starts on D. That's how you can remember what Dorian is. So if you ever want to impress your friends and tell them that this is the Dorian mode, just start on D. And play all white notes. So, I think the thing about this minor key is that it has the flat 7. Okay. Next one is called Phrygian, and Phrygian mode starts on the E. Now this is another minor key, but it has some differences to it. It's an odd, starts chromatically to begin. You can see a lot of musical possibilities in that you wouldn't normally think of if you're in a straight minor key like A minor. Or even Dorian. But Phrygian is really odd, starting on that E. Here are all the possibilities for some interesting melodies in there. All right, the next one is called Lydian, starts on F. The difference here is you're really playing a 4 sharp instead of a 4. It's the only difference in the whole scale. Otherwise, you would. The Lydian in the C mode, but Lydian in this case sounds like this. Now, you can hear some really interesting things there. differences, what you can do there. It's really cool. All right, the next one is called Mixolydian. It starts on the G. The only thing different here is a flat 7. Otherwise, it's a major scale, but it has a flat 7 in it. And so... Again, you can start to see melodic possibilities and interesting passages through these scales. The next one is pretty much just the straight A minor scale. And another way you can impress your friends, this mode is called the Aeolian Mode, and it starts on A. Easy to remember. Major scale that you're used to hearing. And then the last mode is called Locrian, and it starts on B. So there's a lot of tension in those notes and how this minor scale is constructed. Very odd. Locrian of Borg. But those are the 7 basic modes. There are more of them, but we're not going to go into them right now. So I chose to write my song in Dorian. I decided to write Dorian starting in F. So that would be... And so that's kind of where the first chord comes from, is that first Dorian chord. And then the challenge was to make sure that all the notes that I was playing, because I started jamming on something immediately that sounded like this. So I had to go through though and make sure all those chords, and that is is in Dorian mode, so I was trying to make sure. So I played in the Dorian scale in C as well. Now, one of the challenges here was I had to play a solo in the middle of this. I didn't have to, but I decided to. And so I had to make sure I was playing Dorian notes inside there, because my goal with this song, the challenge with this song, was to write it all in Dorian. So basically that's how I came up with it. You can see in the actual song, I'm going to show you a video here in a minute, how the song went and how it goes, and how I stayed in Dorian in the whole time. Now, this video features my brother Todd, and my brother Todd passed away in September. He didn't wake up one day at 51 years old, and this was the last song that we played together, or one of the last songs that we worked on together as musicians. Obviously, we were musicians since we were very young, since he could beat on anything and I could play a keyboard or the piano, and he became a top drummer in the Central Kentucky area and very well known, and it just means a lot to me that he's in this video. So after I did the keyboards, I sent this to Todd, and he put the drums on, and then I sent it to Pat Gallo, who is one of the top upright bass players here in Orlando, and he put on the bass part. So thank you for watching this video about how I made It's Just a Theory completely in the Dorian mode, and you can see that entire video right here. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching. Go watch the video.